Hey everybody, Mr. Odom here, and we are going to solve some two-step equations in this video. So make sure you have your pencil, composition book, or notebook paper to take notes, and a calculator would be handy, probably. The learning target for this video is I can solve equations, specifically two-step equations. So let me just go through the process here. Let me write this problem down. 2 times v plus 7 equals 3. I'm going to draw my line down here. I don't forget what v equals. The first thing I want to look at is I want to subtract 7 from here. That's going to be my first move, subtract 7. So I'm going to use the subtraction property of equality. That leaves me with just 2 times v equals 3 minus 7 is negative 4. All right, now I'm going to divide by 2. Divide by 2 on both sides. That's the division property of equality. All right, and that leaves me with v all by itself. And negative 4 divided by positive 2 is negative 2. All right, and we're going to check our answer. We're going to use our calculator to help us today. So I know v equals negative 2, so I want to go back to the equation, and let's see. Let me take 2 times, and then I have negative 2. Here we go. 2 times negative 2 plus 7, and that should equal, in my calculator I ended up with 3. So 3 equals 3. So the left side equals the right side, which means that negative 2 is the solution to this equation. All right. So again, all I did in my calculator is I substituted negative 2 here and did 2 times negative 2, which is negative 4, negative 4 plus 7, which is 3. All right. Let's move on to number 10. Let me write this problem down. 8 times n plus 16.2 equals 1.6. First, let me subtract 16.2 from both sides. Subtract 16.2 from both sides. That leaves me with 8n equals, and then in your calculator, you're going to put in 1.6 minus 16.2, and you end up with negative 14.6. My next step is to divide both sides by positive 8, because over here the positive 8 in the numerator and the denominator cancel, and I get n equals, so I have negative 14.6 divided by 8, and what do I get? Negative 1.825. All right. And can I check this to make sure that this is, in fact, the correct answer? I can. And how do I do that? Well, I go up here. I can use my calculator to do this. I can substitute negative 1.825 in here. So negative 1.825 times 8. And then I want to add 16.2 to that, and I should get 1.6, and I just checked into my calculator, and I did. So that means that negative 1.825 is the correct solution. All right, so we're using our calculator today to help us check our answers. Let's look at a couple more of these. So let me write it down. 2t minus 5 equals negative 10. Draw my line. Let me add 5 to both sides first. Add 5 here. And I get 2 times t equals negative 5. Let me divide both sides by 2. Divide both sides by 2 because that will help me to get t all by itself. So t equals negative 5 halves. All right, and if we want to know if this is the correct answer, then all I have to do is substitute negative 5/2 or negative 2.5, or I can even write it as negative 2.5. Either one of those. All right, let me choose this one. Why? Because I already know 2.5 times 2 is going to be 5. And this is a negative number times a positive number. So that means that negative 2.5 times 2 is negative 5. And what is negative 5 minus 5? It's negative 10. So this is the correct answer, which you can write like that or that. All right, let's look at number 11. Let's look at number 14. 11 equals negative 5x minus 2. Let me add 2 to both sides first. And that leaves me with negative 5x equals 13. I need to divide both sides by negative 5. That way I can get x by itself. X equals, I also need to divide this side by negative 5, because if I don't, then the equation is no longer equal. So I have negative 13 over 5 as my answer. And you can leave your answer like that. And I can go ahead and substitute this here, negative 13 over 5, or I could write it as negative 2 3/5, or I put an or here, or this is the same as negative 2.6. All right, and so we can use negative 2.6. And how do I use that? Let's see, negative 2.6 times negative 5. Let's see here, negative 2.6 times negative 5. I end up with 13. And 13 minus 2 is 11. So this is the answer. Okay, which you could also write it like this if you wanted to, or like that. It doesn't matter, it's the same thing. Also, you have x here on the right side of the equation. You could write it on the left side. There are some teachers that will, they prefer to see the answer written this way. It doesn't matter to me because equal means equal. Okay, so I'm done with this video. It's a little bit longer, but we got to work through some two-step equations. Hopefully that was helpful. And this is Mr. Odom. Off I go. See you later. You guys are awesome.